Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. I'm Sankalp Dubey, and today I have a wonderful guest with me, Mr. SIVABALAN, straight away connecting with us from Mumbai, Maharashtra. He's very well known, and to me as well as through my natural flow of network of my clients and other associates I've been working with. And the reason I have specifically invited him on the podcast so that to know a couple of quality aspects of retirement as well as to see some aspect of how Mr. Siva is managing. Currently, he's working as well. He has his own venture, and how the retirement goals are coming along with it, and some sort of personal wisdom which he can share with us as well. So that would be the objective of today's podcast, to learn those things from him.
And when you start from one area of excellence to go into a new field, you don't get the remuneration what you are deemed to get, so or you're fit to get. So I started pretty low. I started at 5,000 rupees a month in 1997. Okay, so probably it may not have been a bad salary, but it wasn't a good salary. I wouldn't say the best also. It wasn't a good salary either. But since I was starting afresh, I said,
to start with.
I should go through this.
Okay.
So then I will appreciate every increment that comes along.
Yes.
So that was the thing. So that way, as you go forward, you start getting the benefit of all these developments that happen.
So you took your decision of buying the flat, like you have a flat, or like you had an independent house, like how do you define?
Flat.
Okay.
Mumbai is flat. You cannot afford to have a bungalow.
Okay. So, sir, apart from that, like when you started progressing, what other decisions you took when it comes to like budget management or financial savings, or thinking about, because you, I think in mid 30s you took a career change. You took a hit from marine biology. You came into this. Then what were your thought and all regarding retirement planning, the boring aspects of life which we used to think, yeah, retirement hai, it will come, dekha jayega, that usually that is our natural temperament. Like retirement as in, it is not me who will retire. It's like someone is retiring somewhere in our family. It's not, we do not see ourselves in their shoes. So that is not going to happen to us. It's like we think about it. And that part to retirement planning, savings and all, and specifically the insurance part as well, like for medical and life and all, like what was your approach, please?
Okay, see, every typical Indian who's been of 1960s 70s vintage, okay, we are all dinosaurs. So we all my parents or me, we all straight away, as soon as we become 21 or 22 or whatever is that age, we straight away take an LIC, an endowment policy, which gives piddly amount. Okay, so what happened is that, as such, I was not very keen on an insurance at that point in time. Okay, for me the priorities were different. For me, what it was is that I've moved, I have to prove, I have to go next step. And how I worked myself during this period is, so I looked at myself, what position I was. I joined as a manager. Okay, means this is a specific bullion manager I joined. And between me and the managing director, there were 5 positions.
Gotcha.
Okay, so 5 steps are there for me to go to that place. Okay, now I kind of looked at this entire thing in a perspective of a 7 to 10 year period.
Stepping stones.
So I should be there in the next 10 years at the managing director level.
Okay.
So that's where I looked at it, and I started working in those. So when I was working in this direction, for me, all other things became secondary. For me, like, I didn't bother whether I was planning anything for the future, whether I was really looking at it, was I taking insurance, was I taking Mediclaim, because the company was supporting me.
Achha.
You understand? So the company gave me a Mediclaim, the company gave me insurance. So, I thought it'll go on forever. Okay. So the reality struck me when I left the company. So that's a different story. So some part of the financial requirements were taken care by them. Then the most important I took care, that is the house. So I thought, everything is set. I've made everything Okay. And as you said, my retirement is quite a long way away.
Hmm.
Okay. So that's how I planned. And in fact, while I was on this journey from the manager to the managing director, in 5 years I could complete it.
Oh.
And I could take charge within 5 years. So that again was a blessing for me. Okay. But then when I took charge of the managing director, the company was really in a bad shape. So my effort to bring the company around and do things all around, and being a multinational company, a lot of challenges. They have to follow rules. It's not like an Indian company. A lot of challenges. So my mind could not go away from the challenges of the day-to-day running of the company. So financial things went totally in the background. Absolutely. Of course, people will come, they'll tell me, they'll sell me a retirement plan and things like that. So, you start with a 60,000 rupees per year. So when you retire, you'll have 1 crore or something like that. But nobody came and told me that you have to take a term insurance to support your family. Nobody. Okay. It was like everybody who came only sold something which was, no way connected with what
Your
a term
personal
insurance.
goals, like the alignment was not there.
Absolutely. So what do I do? So luckily for me, while I was dealing with this kind of precious items as well as cash, so the most important component of this entire business is insurance.
Insurance, yes.
Okay, so the insurance guys opened the door for my vision how insurance works. When we talk about insurance, we know we have taken the LIC and things like that. But then nobody ever told me that there is something called as a term insurance which you can take and secure your family's future in absence of a breadwinner. So so that is a very critical thing which I came to know subsequently when I was dealing for my business, where in our business insurance is the backbone. So without insurance you cannot do anything.
Yes.
Okay, so you're carrying millions of rupees, and that needs to be insured. So that's when I got exposed to the international insurance, how it works, what is reinsurance,
Which year
and
was
all.
this, sir?
This was between 2007 to 10.
Okay. All right.
7 to 10. But then, as I told you, Sankalp, I was in such a kind of a fix at that point in time. My only aim at that point of time was to make sure that the company does well.
So
And
your
comes out of
mental real estate was totally occupied with your career goals and the betterment of the company and all, so you're totally invested in it. So it's not
correct.
that you did not have the resources to take that type of decision, but rather your bandwidth was not properly going to have that, okay, presence of mind. Okay, let us open my own file and see my own balance sheet and my cash flows things and all,
Correct.
like my emergency scenario analysis. The same thing you actually were doing for the company, but when it comes to your part, so you were actually lacking behind in that. So
Absolutely. Why this happened? Because I was also part of their leadership program. So they had identified some 15 people across the globe whom
acha.
they were trying to give them training, some kind of a leadership program, so that these people can go away from being a managing director to a senior position,
Leading
a regional
positions.
managing director and things like that. So these kind of things, it's like a nasha.
Uh,
So it kind of intoxicates you. So you're looking at the next goal. You'll say, hey,
that
anything,
that
we still
high
have a
high
goal.
you get, like that
Well,
adrenaline rush.
yeah, we need, I'm looking at the next position. Yeah, personal, somebody asked me, what about personal financial man? Oh, it'll come, it'll come.
Yeah, yeah.
I still have a time. So that's where things were. So if you look at it, till 2011, I was floating in that kind of a thing.
Okay. So, did you finally, or did you not take a insurance after that? You were exposed to your around that 2008 or 10 time.
See, in 2011, there was another shift.
Huh.
Okay. This time, what happened was the company which was doing the cash management in India, the multinational, they decided to shut shop. They said that we've had enough. Because we had a lot of union issues. So they couldn't tackle the union issues because we were tied down. we couldn't take certain decisions which would affect the people. It would be a long winding process. So by the time you actually threw a guy out, he's already committed and done a lot of damage to your company. So it was very difficult. So they planned to close the arm, of course. Then I was left with a choice, is to go and join another arm of this same company, or I get out and do something else. But during this period, when I became the managing director, so I was relocated to Gurgaon for 6 year period. So that 6 year period, my family were in and out. So majority of the time, my family was here only in Mumbai. I was staying alone. So at some point in time, my wife didn't take a liking to Gurgaon, because when we went, Gurgaon was a crazy place. It was not the Gurgaon what you see today. So I was there in 2005, and I was staying in one corner of Gurgaon. So my wife really didn't like it. She said that you're just taking me to some kind of a jungle, So what do you expect me to do? So then the choice was that I get out, come back to Mumbai and start all over again. So this is the second time that I, going from a cushy situation, I get into from the frying pan into the fire kind of situation.
Okay. On your heels and toes again, like walking on eggshell, we have to do something right now again. But this time you were coming from an area of expertise and experience as well. That
Correct.
you had already seen Mumbai, how things work here. Like you understood the culture as well, and by the time you are of your age, also has more of a grace, so that you get your work done. Network is also strong. So
Absolutely.
okay, sir, what are the type of blunders you would highlight that you have committed? If you are okay to share about that as well, but today you look at it at your personal finance and you think कि यार ये गलती कर दिया, like this I should have done, or this I shouldn't have done, like in that perspective, retrospective, when you do that self analysis, or maybe some third party might have pointed out for you ki Mr. Siva, you made this mistake there. So what do you think, what those mistakes might be?
Okay, this is purely related to two aspects. One is the insurance and mediclaim part. And the second is doing some kind of savings on a monthly basis. So nowadays you do have avenues called SIP and things like that, which are much easier to understand. But those days, it was a difficult proposition for me to concentrate on that and, get into it. Mostly what I got was generally a insurance portfolio, trying to save for your retirement kind of thing,
Okay.
And many times I felt that maybe I bit off more than I could chew, Like
Achha.
I should have stuck to it, like say 60,000 per year. I took one policy. Okay. Now I should have kept quiet with that. That was good enough. But then what I did, I tried to bite off and took another 40,000 rupees. Okay. So then, I ended up paying none of the both. Okay. So then it's not correct. The guy who should have told me that he should have told me, don't go for that. Please take a term insurance and a mediclaim. So at that point in time, my mediclaim would have come much cheaper. My term insurance also would have come cheaper. So that kind of a blunder I did by, succumbing to the pressures of guys who come and sell products. So I should not have done that. That's from me, that I call is a blunder, because you should know where to kind of put a full stop and say, no, I don't think product is good for me. So that decision I was not able to make. That's a blunder actually.
Okay.
It should not be done like that. So this is basically where you would call in terms of financial management.
One other thing, sir. This 60,000 premium you are talking about annually. So
Correct.
when you took this policy, what was your annual income at that time?
That would have been around 6 lakh rupees.
Okay, so 10% you were
No, that you should.
That is also very substantial in today's terms as well. 10% you were paying for an insurance premium.
Yeah, and which was not worth it. Actually, I could have taken a term insurance. That was not a term insurance. Like, that retirement plan kind of a thing.
Okay.
So you keep paying 60,000 till you retire or something like that. Then
Yeah,
after that you
these
get
are
paid back.
structured insurance product like marketed as retirement products. So
Absolutely.
yeah.
So that was not what was required for me at
Okay.
that point. For me, a good term insurance, a good Mediclaim insurance, and a good SIP
Hmm.
would have done what I was looking for.
Okay.
Because then what would have happened? The SIP would have come at a lower rate for me.
Yes.
The term would have also come lower rate. With same 60,000, I would have serviced 3 products
Yes.
and felt happy about it.
Haha.
And so this is what is the thing that you guys now come out and tell us, you do all this kind of a thing. So this was lacking,
Hmm.
and that's what I said. The blunder from my side is I got succumbed to these kind of things. सर डाल दो ना, 40,000 है, क्या है आपको, ये नहीं
आप
होगा
तो
क्या?
जितना
But
कमाते हो आप डाल दो, ऐसे
yeah.
कर लो. Yes.
So for me, what happened was I was running 2 establishments. I was staying in Gurgaon. My wife was staying here. So it, even though we say whatever it is, but 2 establishments cost you a lot.
Yes.
Of course, my house here was there for my wife to stay. But in Gurgaon, I was having a house, which is a 3 bedroom, because I thought my wife will come over and stay with me. Okay, but she didn't come. So after that, once you have stayed in a place, you can't scale it down. It becomes very difficult, and I
Hmm.
wouldn't even know when she would come.
Hmm.
So when she says I'm ready to come, so I have to keep hunting for another house once again.
Ah.
So I said, "ठीक है, she'll come in this year. She'll come
That she'll
in
come,
six
she'll come.
months."
Like.
Like that. By the time she came, it was already 4 years. So
Okay.
then we stayed there for 2 years, and then after that we came back.
Okay. Sir, when was the time when you actually felt ki, okay, now I should start thinking about my retirement as well? What was that inflection point? Like, okay, this is the time, or maybe you got some sort of realization and you started having this conversation with yourself, or maybe you started actively seeking some sort of solutions for your retirement as well.
Okay, if you frankly ask me, even now, at this point as we speak, for me, retirement is not there in my horizon. For
Okay.
me, I still feel that another 5 to 7 years, I'm good enough. This is
Okay.
what is my. Today, I'm 60, but I think at least at 67, I will go on. So for me, retirement is coming at 67.
Okay.
Okay, so let's push this timeline little bit forward. So thing that happened was when I came back to Mumbai, I said enough of working for somebody.
Yes.
So let's try and take a call and do business in the line that I have been already accustomed to. I have my experience. So in 2000, and I spent some time with my family and myself, my parents. So almost for 6 months, I just chilled to the point that my wife started getting worried. She
Hmm.
said that ये क्या हो रहा है?
Uh,
कभी जिंदगी में काम करोगे कि ऐसे ही टाइम पास करोगे? So so ठीक है, तुम्हारा पुराना सब हो गया, but that doesn't mean that you shouldn't go to the office or work or do something. So I told her I'm looking to start a business.
hmm.
So she said that you already burnt your hands doing your aquaculture.
Not again.
So you
She
think
was
you want
like, not again.
you want to no, do you want to do this at this age?
Yes.
So at that time I was close to 37, 37, 38. Sorry, 48.
Okay.
So I was 48 years. So she said, 48 years, you still want to take this? I said, yeah, let's take the risk. This is one last time. Because if I'm not able to do now, okay, 5 years hence, things would be very different. Because my daughter would have been into her 10th plus and going to do her
Higher
whatever
education.
graduation, things like that. So probably we may require more money at that time. So at that time, for me to go from a job to do a business will be a very difficult proposition. So eventually I'll end up being a worker all through my life and retire. So I said, let's take this plunge and let's do it.
So
So
basically,
that's how.
this starting up a business was your a thought process when it comes to retirement. Ki retirement के लिए let us start a business right away. So by the time I am actually attaining a maturity age, like I have my business kicking and running, like, so you had
Oh,
that approach?
maybe. No, 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 absolutely no, Santu. That was not at all there. That's what I said. No, I still felt that as you mentioned, retirement तो किसी और को होता है, मुझे तो अभी
So
नहीं होगा.
so it's better that you define yourself personally कि when I speak retirement or you think about it, like how do you define it in your personal terms? What do you mean by that?
Okay, retirement for me is the day I stop working what I'm doing. It can be anything that I may be doing. So that's the day I call as retirement.
Okay.
But in my what do you call, in my dictionary.
Yes.
But I don't see myself like that, Sankalp.
Okay.
Fortunately,
I will come to the
unfortunately,
different definition also, but please continue.
yeah. For me, what I feel is I will continue to keep on doing something that will keep giving me money, something or the other. It will keep giving me money. Maybe 70 years, maybe I don't know how long. So long as I can live, I'll continue to be doing that. So for me, even today, if you frankly ask me, I'm actually in a retirement.
Ah,
You understand?
yes.
What do I mean by retirement? I engage in my business only to that extent that is required.
Required.
My partners who are young guys, probably a little older than you, is the youngest guy. They are running the business and they are doing excellently well. It's just a guiding light that is required.
Okay.
So, if you frankly ask me, in the last 5 years, before COVID onwards, it's like kind of a retirement for me. So I go in when I want. I kind of sit with them when they want. So it's not a daily engagement. So effectively, if you looked at terms like what is a retirement, actually I'm in a retirement.
Okay.
I'm, enjoying the fruits of what toil has been done
Yes.
as of now. So you can put it that way. But if you look at it in terms of continued work, it'll go on.
Okay.
It'll go on for at least 6-7 years.
Actually, when we also speak about retirement, basically when we're dealing with people who are primarily in the salaried section, like they are working with someone. So the way we define retirement is the time when your investments are taking care of your necessities, and at that time you are not working to provide for yourself, but you are working because you want to work. So, in our definition, that is the definition I carry. That retirement is basically when, okay, like you have done whatever the work, you are working out of choice, not out of compulsion. So, if you are working out of choice, then you are already retired. If you are working
That's
out
right.
of compulsion, then some introspection has to come in,
Correct.
some course
So
correction is required.
absolutely. So that's what I said. In your terminology, I've already retired
Yeah.
5 years back. And the company continues to provide for me,
Okay.
and it goes on. Okay. Now, if you really ask me at a point, when, let's say, the company plans, or I plan to hive off my shares and get out. So that's when the valuation will kick in, and whatever comes, that is the money that I will get. And we have also kind of made sufficient, let's say, corpus, and we have an office. So on this day, if I plan to sell my or hide
Share.
my shares, I would still be around 4.55 CR,
Okay.
good enough,
Okay.
which can take care of my life, my daughter's life, my wife's life. It's good enough to that. But that is not what I am looking at.
Huh.
See, money is not a major criteria for me.
That is
For me, the
basically a condition of termination of what you are doing. Exactly.
correct. So if you look at it that way, yes, I have provided for. That's when it comes to me, that's when Sankalp will come in and tell me where all to put it and how
Yes.
to manage it from there on.
Sir, to the clientele of your profile who have retired, like they don't call themselves retired, but they're actually retired before the people actually think of retiring. Exactly. So you are already living your retired life. You are doing what you want to do. You are punching hours based on your comfort level of
Correct.
comfort, and you are having a decent time and enjoying whatever you are doing. So for people like you, the discussion when it comes to financial planning comes to the part of estate planning, that you have made the wealth, your wealth is not realized yet, it is in the form of
Yes.
an equity, that
Yes.
whatever you own is in your name. What is the
Correct.
ultimate distribution of that? Okay, so
Yes.
that becomes the part of estate planning. So also,
Absolutely.
so that in the case of eventuality or any foreseen departure, the wealth which we have created should not have to go to the people, should not have to run to courts to actually
Absolutely.
acquire that. So these type of
Absolutely.
difficult discussions are required. So
Yes.
that's where we also come as a facilitator, and we open up the Pandora's box from where we see various
Absolutely.
discussions coming up.
Yeah, absolutely, Sankalp. What you said is true to every last single word what you said. Why? Because see, many people, with the moment you broach the topic about will, they say, "Kya tum mujhe marna chahte ho?" This is the term they use. "Tum marna chahte ho." But I am one of the guys who want to do it. Okay, I kept it till 60 for whatever reason. I don't know. There is no particular reason that you can say why did you keep the writing of will till 60. But now I'm pursuing that I will write a will
Yes.
for whatever it is, because the shareholding is also going to be a very typical situation. So I need to make sure that the shares are properly
Yes.
distributed between.
Very structured way these things can be taken care of when we are talking in the multiple of crores at the that is the time when it also depends upon the family, the level of financial IQ of the family as well, that how good they are with managing the money which you are actually are intended for them as a beneficiary. So trust formation, certain keeping some of the limitation and fencing around your intention, that how this money should be utilized by your beneficiary and loved one. That type of things are also very much required when we are going to the estate planning. And specifically in India, we have like we have not talked about, would be very what you call overstatement, but we do not even know this thing actually exists.
Absolutely.
So
You're absolutely right. I've seen all around. In my own case, my wife, she's got some land, and they're in major dispute. Major dispute. Why? Because nobody has written a will, before, and that's where everything comes down to. So yes, serious thoughts are there to
yeah.
write a will, and make sure that I put everything on paper, so
Yes.
that the next generation, that's my daughter, does not have to struggle for this.
Yes.
Because as such, she's not going to come into my business. That's
Yes.
for 100% sure. She's got her own interest. She's going to get into music. That's where she likes. So she's not keen. She doesn't even understand anything in finance, nor she understands arithmetic. She simply spends money. She says, "Papa, मेरा काम है, तुम कमाओ, मैं उसको spend करती हूँ." That
That's
is
the
the
fruits
that
of your
is,
labor actually.
yeah.
That's the fruits of the labor she is enjoying.
Anyway, that's her. See, that's her. What do you call benefit, or what do
Ah.
you say? उसके लिए that's the best thing that
And
for
it's
her.
even greater that you are also deriving joy out of it. That yes, they are enjoying it. So what I have worked for it. So
Correct.
like this is what like Lakshmi ka jab hum like we talk in your what you call little dharmic terms. लक्ष्मी का तीन ही आप चीज कर सकते हैं, या भोग कर सकते हैं, या दान कर सकते हैं, या नाश कर सकते हैं. So either of three you can do, and after this three there is no other fourth thing which you can do. So भोग कर लो
And
उसका.
the factor, one more important thing, now that you mentioned Lakshmi,
Yeah.
Okay, there was a huge struggle for me till my daughter was born.
Okay.
Okay, so my upward mobility in terms of having promotions, getting more money, getting the house also, okay, happened only when my daughter was born.
Yes.
So my daughter is very lucky to that extent. So it's like she brought all this for me. I look at it like that.
Yes. Yes.
So she's got some right to enjoy, even
Women
though
do
both.
bring a lot of luck, especially in the lives of men. That I think we need to appreciate that more often, and this should be said about. I believe so.
Correct. So although we keep shouting at her for spending money, but then deep in, she's the only one who's going to be enjoying it, whatever it is, because nothing either of us are going to take. Only thing is, I need to make sure that she doesn't spend more than what I can provide for. That's all.
Okay.
Then that becomes an important thing.
So, coming to the end of it, I would like to thank each and every one of you who will be watching this podcast. And please like, comment, and share your thought as well. Subscribe to the
And
channel
subscribe.
and share with other people as well. Thank you for connecting.